Is your research a mess with a desktop of PDFs, a sea of browser tabs, and scattered notes all over your desk? Yes, I know that feeling, guys, because not long ago I was in your position. And from personal experience, I know that this chaos blocks your ability to think. But what if I told you that there's a simple framework that could turn this entire chaos into clarity? A system that would clarify your thoughts into a Q1 tier journal. Hi, I'm Dr. Radhika Kamdar. Welcome back to my channel Rad's Research Room, and stick with me today and I'll show you how to build a powerful argument in 3 easy steps so that you're not just collecting sources like bricks, but you're actually designing and structuring and constructing your mention, that is your research paper. So first, let's find out what's the real reason that you're stuck. And no, don't worry. It's not you that's the problem, it's your system. You're treating all your research like one big giant pie. Imagine collecting samples and reagents every day for a week and only labeling them 1 to 10 in a row without any key or category or date. So what will happen at the end of the week when you actually have to run a PCR to amplify a target gene? Now you know that every reaction needs a buffer, a catalyst and a reactant, each with a specific job. So similarly, all resources and references that you have collected have a different role. They have different place. Some will provide context to your introduction, the background of your field of study, and others will help you interpret your data and your results, and they will be part of your discussion. Mixing up these references is what creates confusion. The secret is to stop treating it as a pile or an endless list of articles in your folder and assigning each source a specific role, a specific place in your article. Basically, it is to cut through the fluff. So here's my 3-step framework. And trust me guys, it works magically, especially back in the day when we didn't have AI to assist us to write a manuscript. And even today, if you use AI to write your entire paper, you are bound to get shunned on that. So the first step is to triage and annotate. So if you have made it this far in the video, then make a vow to yourself that henceforth, whenever you come across a source based on its title, you will read the abstract. The abstract is max 300 words for any article. Then you will read the first 2 paragraphs of the introduction section, and you will also read the last paragraph. Finally, you will also read the conclusion section of that particular article, and this will help you see whether the article that you have chosen is relevant to your research topic. And this is called triaging. And check out my previous video on how to identify your research niche and how to identify and define your research topic. I have also given templates for that. The link is somewhere here and also in the description box. So do check it out. Now, once the relevance of the reference is established, which is known as triaging, we now do the annotation. So you build a database, save these articles in a folder labeled relevant or critical, and write one sentence describing the core idea or the takeaway from that article. For example, since I'm a DNA repair person, based on my article, I will write that ligase 4 is not recruited to the DSB repair site in the absence of XRCC4, which has been established using a novel protocol. And the second point will be how you're going to use this core idea for your article. For example, after this core, I will say how this hypothesis is relevant to me, whether it's a contradiction, whether it's a classical pathway, or whether it is a novel perspective. And this will be a part of my discussion. So use this approach for n number of articles that you might use for your manuscript, 20, 30, if it's a review article, then 50. The second step is to group these articles by theme. Make thematic folders, subfolders. For example, background, key problem, supporting evidence, contradictory findings, and you will see a landscape of ideas taking shape. It is no longer a list of authors in a folder with endless PDF documents, something that you are unsure about what to do with, which one to take, which one to chuck. You will see your article structuring itself. The most important part, or the third part, is to assign a job to every article or the reference that you have isolated in the thematic folders. Now that you've already done the grunt work, The third step is easy peasy. Your ingredients are ready for the main dish. It's something like your pesto is ready and you only need to decide on which pasta is suitable for which pesto sauce. So a background source will go in your introduction with the key question, which is the last part of the introduction. A contradictory finding with its supporting evidence belongs in your discussion section. So every source has been assigned a purpose. So you see, all your thematic subfolders have been put to proper structured usage. If this structured approach is making sense to you, then do me a favor and hit that like button and like it, share, subscribe this video. It will be helpful for students like you and researchers, early career researchers who also find this chaos difficult to navigate and are kind of lost. And this simple technique can benefit all of you when you're just starting out and getting the hang of writing academic manuscripts. Now you might think that a particular article has many references. If it's a lit review or if it's thesis, it would be even hundreds of articles. So how can I do all this manually? Are there any tools which I can use? The tool does not matter actually as much as the framework. You can use reference managers like Zotero, Mendeley, EndNote. Use tags and collections to create your groups. That's the foundation. You might even prefer to use simple spreadsheets, Excel sheets, or build manual tables in Word file, whatever works perfectly for you. Just create columns based on themes, paper sections, and then filter them out if you're using Excel sheets. For an in-depth thinking, you can build an annotated bibliography to analyze the role of each source in detail. You can make columns with type of study, samples, software or tools or methods used, basic findings, and what are the implications in that particular study. So follow a tool, follow a method that works best for you. So the goal is to give every source its role, its job, and to identify the core elements that are relevant and suitable for you. Being overwhelmed by research doesn't have to be your story. Chaos just means that you need a system. So remember the framework, guys: triage, group, and assign. This you can use not just for organizing your files for article, you can also use it to clarify your arguments. You will see that a roadmap is structuring a building itself towards a successful article, and you can apply this to write your review, your book chapter, your thesis, anything. And check out my video series on how to write a literature review. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel for such more academic tips and insights. Stay tuned, stay researching and striving for knowledge. Ciao.